So I thought I'd come live to you today with a little thing that sort of came up for me today as I was, I guess, talking to my daughter about periods. And we were reading this little book about, I guess what's going to happen when we transition into that. And I guess it got me thinking about how our body, after we hit puberty and have our period, our body as a woman is never the same. And we wouldn't expect for our body to ever go back to how it was pre-puberty. But when we're pregnant and when we've had a baby or grown a baby, we seem to expect of women that everything just goes back to normal, back to its pre-pregnancy state once that baby is out. But the fact of the matter is that our body, once we've been through pregnancy, our body is actually changed forever. Yep, the changes internally last a lifetime. And we really need to be taught or teaching women how to look after their body during pregnancy would be ideal, but then also how to look after their body for the rest of their life. Okay, so let's talk through, I guess, what happens when we're pregnant and I guess the implications that I'm seeing as somebody who rehabilitates women after having their babies, the repercussions that I'm seeing of women not understanding the changes that have happened and that those changes last a lifetime. So when we're pregnant, obviously we grow a human, right? A whole lot happens physically, emotionally, structurally to our body. A huge impact happens to our pelvic floor, okay? And it's there to sort of support our body, support our spine, keep everything internal. Okay, so there's that change that happens. Changes are happening to our deep abdominals. Changes are happening to all of our muscles externally as our posture shifts as we grow this baby. The weight of the breasts start to pull us forward. We start to get more of a bit of a rounded back. The chin can start to stick out. As we're in standing, we start to grow the belly, and if we haven't got the right bit strong, then we start to develop this sway back, and our bottom muscles then start to become a bit floppy. We hang off the back of our legs. So quite a lot happens to the body while we're pregnant. Now, in my pregnancy program, we work on sort of, I guess, accommodating for those changes so the body is strong. But I'm just talking about, when someone's not training specifically for pregnancy. So all of these changes start to happen throughout the pregnancy, and then they actually carry on post-birth. So once that baby is out, okay, then the changes that have happened to the pelvic floor, they're going to stay, okay? The changes that have happened posturally with the rounded back, hanging off our hamstrings, floppy glutes, core not activating, they all linger on, and they keep happening within the body until we actively resolve them. And for a lot of women, we never do, because we're not actually taught how to look after our pelvic floor once we've had a baby. We're not taught how to look after our abdominal muscles, okay? So those abdominal muscles needed to separate for that baby to grow inside of us. And then the baby comes out and people just think, oh yeah, that's fine. But the fact of the matter is that those abdominal muscles just don't have the same structural integrity as they did prior to pregnancy. So we need to be taught how to look after the pelvic floor, in everything that we lift, in getting back into an exercise program, in lifting weights, in just the way we move our bodies throughout day-to-day life. If we're not actually taught how to look after that pelvic floor, okay, then we're putting more and more pressure on it as time goes by. The baby gets bigger, they get heavier, we're carrying them all the time, we're sitting, holding, carrying them in this forward posture, placing even more pressure downstairs, okay? And then those things just keep lingering on. Right, then a woman might think, oh, I need to get back into shape. And so she automatically thinks, yeah, I'm going to start exercising. And then she might get in and do some sit-ups or lift some weights or go for a run. But if she hasn't rebuilt the body in the right way, then it's going to place more pressure on those parts. And so what we see happening is incontinence, that's bladder leakage, yeah. We see prolapse, that's where things are actually slipping down, falling out of the vagina, which is, really quite scary. We see abdominal separation that lingers on through the years, so that might present like a bulging looking belly where women complain that they just can't get their tummies flat no matter what they do, okay? And then often, obviously back pain, neck pain, all of that, and all of these things have stemmed from the changes that happened to our body during pregnancy, birth, post-birth, and we've not actually done a specific program to really rehabilitate and strengthen. Now, I'm not even talking about, you know, these changes just being there a year later. You know, we see women, those changes are still there 15 years later, 20 years later, when women are in their 60s. Okay, these changes last a lifetime if we haven't actively done something to rehabilitate, strengthen, and look after those precious womanly bits. Okay, so what I'm saying to you is, do not expect that your body will ever be the same as it was prior to pregnancy, because the fact of the matter is it just isn't. It just isn't. You've grown a human. Okay, so learning to look after those bits now and for the rest of your life is so, so important. So if you are experiencing leaking, if you've got a stomach that's still bulging, yeah, if you've got back pain, neck pain, knee pain, all right, if you've got any heaviness and dragging downstairs, if you feel like anything's slipping down, then it's really important that you start to seek help for that, because these changes just don't resolve themselves, okay? But I want everyone to be really, really aware that we need to start treating our bodies as these really precious commodities that they are, these really precious things that they are, I should say, and to understand the vital importance of looking after our pelvic floor and our core when we're pregnant, after birth, and for the rest of our lives, because a lot of the damage that we see being done, women are not even aware that some of the things that they're doing can be causing these problems. So, you know, getting back to running, lifting weights, just things as simple as getting a pram in and out of a car, carrying bags of groceries. If our body hasn't been prepared accordingly post-birth, then we're putting downward pressure through all those womanly bits, and we see these things start to present a little bit later on. So things like the prolapse, that mightn't happen straight after birth. It's, you know, a few years down the track. Yeah, and that could have been avoided had we have strengthened in the right way, and had we have learned how to look after those bits, then we wouldn't be having these problems present down the track. So I really hope that that can help you to really just keep forefront of your mind that just like our body is never the same after we've been through puberty, it's never the same after we've been through pregnancy, and we need to really look after our body and learn how to protect it for the rest of our lives. Take care and have a great day.